Good morning. It's Sunday. I'm terrible with dates. It's April the the 20 22nd. All right, but anyway, it's Sunday, April the 23rd, because we just had 420. So boop boop. So it's the 22nd. But anyway, goddamn it, I'm gonna get a calendar and put the motherfucker right here, so I know where the fuck, you know. But anyway, first and foremost, let me say thank you to YouTube, the most wonderful corporation globally in terms of freedom of speech and giving poor people an opportunity to kind of do things that they wouldn't normally get a chance to do. So thank you, YouTube, for allowing me to say funny things that might seem offensive, but in my heart, where my heart is, in my heart, it's all about this country. It's all about just being aware of what's going on politically around us, and it's all about not biting that tongue. You know what I mean? One of the most effortless things that you can do to please God and to, show that you are on the right side of things is just talk about it. You know what I mean? Just speak on it. You know what I mean? But a lot of times, you can only speak on what you're knowledgeable about. So I want to be somebody that you can look to if you're not that knowledgeable, somebody that you can trust that's going to give you accurate information. Because unfortunately, we are living in a time, we're in a digital age where we have professional, college-educated people that want us to trust them, but it appears that these people are actively involved in intentionally disseminating false and misleading information, aka lies. First of all, let me get this motherfucking shit clear. You understand? I am basically here out of desperation. You know what I mean? It's a SOS. This country is under attack. I'm reaching out to white people. I need you white people to understand who I am. My name is Wes Jones. I am the founder of Citizens United Hope for America promotion, and it is my ambition to see that we, from a grassroots progressive standpoint, that we lift our people up and become more actively engaged in what's going on in the United States in terms of politics. Now, I do love comedy, I do love entertainment, I do love political satire, I do love fashion, I do love, beautiful women, I do it so much. So it's like what I like to, in terms of the Citizens United Hope for America promotion, we want to pack as much of that into a 1 hour and 45-minute segment and take that all across the country and raise money to get the equipment and the buses that we need to do that 365 days a year, because this fight is real. These things happen all across the country. So we really want to have a mechanism, Citizens United Hope for America promotion, Citizens United Hope for America team that can get on these buses and go out there and address these issues in an entertaining, politically correct, very diverse, and motivating, educational, just a lot of fun. But anyway, this is episode number 14, if I'm not mistaken. And right now we're going to get back into what's really going on in America, which is treason and collusion with the Russian government to undermine American politics and steer it in the direction that benefits their country. Okay, so we know that over the last 15 years, Russia has been hit with enormous sanctions that literally has crippled their economy. These sanctions were applied by Democrats, more specifically Barack Obama. Barack Obama has really leveled the Russian economy through a worldwide leadership and the imposing of world sanctions against Russia for the crimes in Crimea, Georgia, Syria, elections all over the country. We had a great president that confronted Mr. Putin like a man, shook his hand and looked him right square in the face and said, "Stop. We know what you're doing. Stop it." That man has been replaced. And I'm not saying this, to be disrespectful, because I respect the office of presidency. I grew up in the public education system. We're taught you might not respect the man, but you respect the post, right? So I respect the post. But the guy that snuck in there, because he wasn't voted in, please understand, this man was not voted in. Our intelligence community are a bunch of manipulative, lying son of a bitches, just as bad as this motherfucker, okay? So what they're not telling you, what they will not admit to you, what they will not even acknowledge is that our election system was absolutely violated, hijacked, whatever you want to call it, interfered in, whatever you want to call it. But listen, specifically, this is what they did. They went into 22 states. Some say 21, some say 22. God damn it, it's 20 or more. They went into 20 or more state voter rolls, the system where your votes are tallied, count, kept, marinated, stored, all of that. They absolutely were in those rolls in 22 states. What the fuck do you think they did when they got in there? They tilted the shit from left to right. Simple as that. Either the wind was going left, which it was, and they didn't like that. So they tilted that shit right. All right? We know that this happened. We know that this absolutely happened in 20 or more states. We know that. We know that they did that. The effort to manipulate the voter rolls was an effort to get Donald Trump elected president. We know that. We know that the very last people on this planet that the Russians, the Pentagon, or our intelligence community wanted to get elected in the United States 2016 election was a Democrat. We know that the Nazis, the white supremacists, the Pentagon did not want a female president in the United States, period. Definitely didn't want that female to be Democrat. The worst nightmare for the Pentagon in terms of maintaining the very bloated and obese budget that they have, the only option that they have is to support a Republican. Because they know any Democratic leadership will result in limited funding, a retraction of funds, funding cuts, you name it. They know that. So the Pentagon was never for a Democrat, ever. The intelligence community was never for a Democrat. Why do you think that bitch-ass motherfucking James Comey, 2 weeks before the election, stood up before the American people and did something that no other FBI director has done? And it's actually against the law to interfere in these types of elections. This man, knowing that Donald Trump and members of his campaign were committing treason by colluding with the Russians, he knew that. He withheld that information only to tell that he was reopening the email investigation of Hillary Clinton. So he fucked our election up to let us know that he was reopening the email investigation into our candidate while simultaneously concealing the corruption that was going on within the candidate himself, his campaign manager, his national security advisor, his son-in-law, his son, on and on and on. This man knew that the day he stood up there and fucked Hillary's election opportunity up. And he's pretending that he did that out of a sense of loyalty, a sense to the Constitution. How in the fuck was you loyal to the Constitution, you tall son of a bitch, when you knew that this man was committing treason? You motherfuckers were listening to him on wiretaps. You got goddamn transcripts. The international community was ringing the goddamn alarm. The Obama administration was ringing the motherfucking alarm as they was leaving. And you motherfucker, you knew that shit, but you kept quiet, but you fucking defamed her over some goddamn emails, and you allowed this motherfucker to get in, Mr. Comey. Fuck you, you son of a bitch. And that's freedom of speech. That's not a threat. I actually love you. I would love to meet you and shake your hand, you know. But you are a rotten son of a bitch, and you deserve everything that comes your way in terms of karma, okay? So this is not a threat. This is an angry black man wearing a wife beater, but I love women. I don't beat women. You know what I mean? But I just like to switch it up, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? So it's like today is wife beater day, damn it. I'm wearing my wife beater, but if you lay a hand on a female, you motherfucker, you better hope that I ain't in the joint, you know, don't get a hold to your motherfucking ass. But anyway, because I got a daughter, mama, aunties, and all that, and I wish a motherfucker would. You feel me? Ain't nothing to talk about, nigga. It's on sight. But anyway, white people, let me get myself back together. Wes Jones, Citizens United, Hope for America. Email address, 2437warren1@gmail.com. We have a Citizens United GoFund account. Please contribute. We literally are, you know, we have no support. This is an independent effort, you know, to just do something, man. You know what I mean? Like, you know, we see things like are terrible around us. I mean, look what the pharmaceutical companies did to our streets and our neighborhoods with these opioids. You know, look what the heroin epidemic continues to do, you know, economically and physically to our people in our cities. And we got the best military in the world who literally refuses. I mean, think about this. We have a military with a budget of $700 million, if I'm not mistaken, this year. Almost $1 trillion. $700 billion. Almost $1 trillion budget, right? Yet in the same breath, we have the worst naval fleet in terms of ships, availability, the condition of the ships, yada, yada, yada. We have the worst military personnel in terms of boots on the ground, boots availability, limited tours, you know, not being overdone, overworked, overcooked. We're terrible. We're awful. So how do you have like the biggest budget in the universe, but the worst personnel and equipment? Because you're not spending the money. You're laundering the money for profit. So anyway, let's get to some fucking specifics right quick, because I've been fucking talking for like 13 and a half fucking minutes. You understand what the fuck I'm saying? Huh? I don't give a fuck if you in Harlem, motherfucking Houston, motherfucking Los Angeles, motherfucking Detroit, Chicago. It don't matter. You feel me? This shit's real. Low cash gangster Christians. God loves you little bad motherfuckers out there banging and doing all this drug dealing and all this shit you got to do to survive. You know, all you motherfucking women out there turning tricks, lollipop, lollipop. You know what I mean? Just because you think you got to do this shit to survive. You understand? All you young children out there stealing and breaking in and taking and robbing and this and that because you feel like you got to do this to survive. Well, let me tell you something. No, you don't. What you do need is Jesus. Low cash gangster Christians, we coming for you, man. We not going to let you just go out like that, man. We coming in, man. We coming to get you guys, straighten you back up and bring you back before God so he can bless your motherfucking ass. You feel me? Look, even with this little rotten ass mouth I got, bruh, God loves me so much that he provides for me every single day. You understand? Because I got an understanding with him. You know, I literally went to God and said, yo, I know I got a potty mouth. You know? I said, but what if my mouth can be a benefit to the kingdom? He said, well, just let's see what we can do. Let's see what's popping. You know what I mean? So right now we on the road, right? So dig, let me look down at my motherfucking notes, and then I'm gonna come back up and spit some shit, right? Okay, so first thing we want to talk about is the president who is a liar, who is a certified, no questions asked. As of last count, it's up to about 2,700 certified lies. One of you motherfuckers voted for this son of a bitch, or maybe all you son of a bitches voted for this motherfucker. You understand? See, this is how bad it is, man. I ain't got no motherfucking equipment. I ain't got no goddamn help. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Shit falling apart. You know, I'm trying to do a motherfucking show, you dig? And this shit falling and shit, you understand? Because you motherfuckers don't want to give the right motherfuckers money so that they can get shit that they need. You understand? But anyway, you know, so this man's a liar, right? So he's gotten far with his lies. You know, it doesn't matter what we say, what we do, because he has the ability to lie, right? So they got this small group of people in the United States that are racist, willing to lie, cheat, steal, kill, like literally. They're desperate. Most of them are very, very poor, but they are led by rich people. It's a small group of people. It's about 20-something% of this country, right? So how this trick works is you get this small group of people to create the illusion that you have an election. You know, you get this small group of people to show up in places like Iowa, Texas, Arizona, and they create this environment that looks like this is popular, this is really popping, right? But what you don't know is when they go to places like Iowa and Arizona and different other places to hold these events, these rallies, what you don't know is almost half the people that are there, were invited and seduced with a $25 check from the GOP that basically says, hey, if you come to this rally, we'll give you $25. So of course, people show up because they're poor. They want that $25, and plus they get to have a sense of belonging to something. They're going along with a big con, right? So they get these people to fill up these arenas to pretend that they're having a rally. With that image, they're able to go into the election as if it's legitimate. Knowing it's a false image, knowing that they don't have the votes, they've known that they don't have the votes since 1988. So now they've gotten to a situation where all they need is the illusion that it's an election. Because digitally, they are going to subcontract the treason that's required to manipulate the voter rolls. In the 2005 election, they did a lot of the shenanigans was done locally, hands-on by the GOP and employees of the GOP. But the lawyers and the technicians at the polling places and the policing of the votes, it just got a little too heavy. They couldn't afford to take the risk of a GOP tied individual getting caught. So now they're subcontracting it out internationally. This last election, the Russians took the contract. They were definitely invited into the game by the GOP. The GOP has been has partnered with the Russians. Our senators are providing protection for Mr. Trump's lies. Our senators are preventing our colleagues from across the aisle to do their jobs and protect this country, which is their sworn duty to the Constitution. Our senators are actively engaged in treason with the Russians, with the Trump campaign. Mr. Trump continues to say things like there is no collusion. Well, first of all, how can you say that something never happened until it's been investigated? If we have signs of a crime, we have to investigate it before we can determine that nothing happened. Before the investigation, how can you make a determination that nothing ever happened? We didn't look yet. Okay. So now the investigation started and Mr. Trump keeps saying there's no collusion. Well, we have prosecutors and lawyers on the FBI that have filed indictment charges, made arrests, got convictions, and got guilty pleas. There was absolutely collusion. Your campaign manager, your son-in-law, on and on and on, were found guilty of lying to the federal government about associations and ties and connections to the Russians. When your president gets on TV and says there was no collusion, this is made up, this is a hoax, we have federal judges, federal prosecutors, investigators on the highest level that absolutely confer every day that crimes have been committed, and these crimes are leading directly to the White House. This president has done nothing but try to obstruct this investigation on every turn, live, in living color, right in your face. This president is above the law because you put him there, white people. You put this orange man over your white laws, and now he's ruining your country. White people put an orange man above their white laws and constitution, and now this orange man has aligned himself with some Russians. They were popping bottles in the Oval Office. How did we know? Because the Russians told us. Because our president wouldn't let us come in. If you ain't got nothing to hide, why did you not let the American press into the White House? Why did you kick the American press out of the White House and allow the Russian press to run rampant? It's clear. But anyway, you know, man, this shit is crazy, man. You know, nigga get to talking, you understand? And then you motherfucking look up, and this motherfucking 25 motherfucking minutes deep, you dig? And then you start feeling like, well, shit, it's been long enough, man. I need to get off this motherfucker, right? But then you realize you ain't really said about a whole bunch of shit. You understand? But whatever the fuck I said, I just want you to know that I love this country. I love my kids. I love my family, my friends. I love my community. I do not appreciate the fact that we have a military with the biggest budget in the universe refuse to have borders protection. We've had open borders forever. We've never had borders protection. Refuses to have port protection. We have those train size, you know, them big semi-truck size trailer compartments that come through United States ports every day. Ships carrying thousands of these big, huge motherfucking semi-truck trailer sized containers. And we don't look in them. We don't know what's coming in here. We don't care to look. We don't care to verify. We have people walking around this country with mental illness, and the Republican Party eliminated our mental illness infrastructure in the 80s, led by Governor John Engler and Newt Gingrich and the rest of them. They killed the mental institution infrastructure that we had in order to put that money into the pot that they like to give to the globalized corporate society. How much time you got left on this planet? And when you leave, do you want to feel as if you did something to improve this planet, or did you just go along with the destruction of this planet? Or did you just bury your head in your ass and pretend that the destruction of this planet was not going on around you? Me personally, I'm one person with no resources, but I got a mouth. And I have a desire to say things that I believe are true. And I'm going to continue to do it. So I look forward to seeing you motherfuckers, or you motherfuckers seeing me for episode 15. Because goddamn it, I'm tired of motherfucking talking. You understand? I'm finna take my pretty motherfucking ass. You understand? You know, I got a lot of names, man. You know, Tony Macaroni, White Boy, Wes, Jink, on and on and on and on, depending on where I'm at. Michigan, Ohio, Georgia, Florida, Texas, depending on where I'm at, you can hear, White Boy, you know, I love all that shit, man. All of it, you know. I love life, man. I'm over 50. I'm over 50. You know, I just got a new body, you know. 7 years ago, I was 409 pounds. On the verge of death. Stressed out. Trying to fit in and trying to fight, you know, these motherfuckers. Now look. 258 pounds of slim, yellow, vanilla motherfucker. Holla at you motherfuckers later, though.